Hey everybody, it's Henry Steele, and today is Thursday, March 21st, 2024, and this is the first video where we're going to look at the price action of the actual Micro E-mini S&P 500 futures June 2024 contract, the 5-minute chart, to see how well our trading system, the Support and Resistance Trading System 1.0, does. Now, I don't have the time to go through the entire week's worth of data, so what I've chosen to do is we're going to look at every Wednesday's price action and see how it does. So we just consistently use the same day of the week so that we're not cherry picking anything. And every week we'll look at Wednesday's price action because it's going to take a little bit of time. I really won't have time to look at more than one day, at least for the time being. Now, what we have determined we want to do is look at the pre-market price data. This is midnight Central Standard Time, and then this is the market open. The cash pit session opens at 8:30 Central Standard Time. So this is the actual pre-session for the E-mini price data right here. And then this is 8:30 where the cash market opens, and then we begin trading over in this point in time. So we're creating our support and resistance from the pre-market data right here, and we're going to be trading off of it over here. So you can see that I already have an area of resistance. The major resistance and major support from the pre-market data is right here, and then the most recent low right here is also marked. So what we're looking for are either higher tops or lower tops or higher bottoms, or break and retest of support and resistance. So the market opens up right here. We get a support right there, but then we don't come back and test it. We get a resistance right up here. We break a little bit above it. We move down, and then we hit this level of resistance again. So what we have here is, let's make sure we're getting what we're supposed to have according to our trading system. We have a lower top. The lower top comes back to the level of resistance in this case. So what we would do in this case is enter the market at the break of this price level right here, and we would go short. So we would enter right there at that price right there. Our target would be the opposing support or resistance. In other words, since we're coming from resistance, our target is support, which is right down here. It's only a few points away. So as of right now, there's nothing in our rule set to tell us that we shouldn't be taking this trade, but we might consider in the future putting a rule in there where we only take trades if we're going to make a certain number of points or more with our target. Because when you get to a smaller level like this, where you've only got like 4 or 5 points of a move to your target, your stop loss is only going to be a couple of points. So it's going to be much, much easier to be stopped out. But since we don't have anything in our rules right now to tell us not to do it, we're going to go ahead and treat this as a trade. So the market comes up, makes a top, makes a bottom right here, and makes a lower top right there, and then it trades down. It touches it right here, but right here is where it finally exceeds it at this point. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit right here. So we exceed it right here. Our target is, for the time being, I'm going to move that support resistance level. Our target is down here, the higher portion of this zone, which eventually we do hit, but our target is so close that our stop is only up around here. So let's measure this. So our entry's right here, our target's right here, but our stop is right up here. So we literally come back and hit our stop the next candle. So we're stopped out of this trade immediately. So this is a good reason why we would want to change the rules to only take trades where we have a profit target of 8 or 10 points, something like that. Something to consider for the future. So let's go ahead and put this into our spreadsheet. Actually, I've already done it right here to save a little bit of time on the video. The date of this is of this actual trade was Wednesday, or March 20th, 2024. It's the first trade in our whole system. It's the first trade of the day. It's a lower top type of setup. Its direction is short. Our entry price is here. Our target price is here. And you see that it's only a 4.5 point move. So it's very small. Our stop loss, 52.4075. And if we hit our stop loss, we only lose 2.25 points, which is good, but it's such a small move that, like I said, we're going to want to consider changing some rules or adding a rule. One contract traded, each point's worth $5. So if we win, we make $22.50. If we lose half of that, $11.25. And of course, that doesn't include commissions. So we're going to assume that we actually entered at these levels right here. We're going to assume that since we're only trading one contract of the E-mini micro, that we're not going to have any slippage. So we entered right here at the 52.3850, but we hit the stop loss, 52.4075. So we lost 2.25 points. And for the day, we are down 2.25 points. All right, so let's look at the market again. We can get rid of this. And what we see here is we have lower bottoms, so no setup right there. I'm going to delete this line since it's no longer needed. That was to show our entry level. We get a low here, and then a low here, and then we get a higher low right here. So we have another entry setup, except this hits the major support right here, and it does not come back to the major support. But if you'll remember, we had a price level right here, a minor support level. We came down to it right here. We broke below it right here and touched this one, but this guy comes down and touches this level right here. So this is, as of our rules so far, this is a legitimate setup to go long when it breaks here. Now remember, our target is the next support or resistance zone away from where we are. Since we're using support, our target is the resistance zone. We're entering right here. Let me put a line. Entering right there. And our target's up here. So let's measure this. Our target is right down here. Now the assumption I'm going to make is that the market moved up, came down, made our lower bottom right there, and we have 1-2 candles between it, so it's definitely legitimate as far as our rules are concerned. And then the market trades up and breaks here and then just starts heading up and up and up and up. So this trade is going to be considered successful. Now here's another thing we can look at for a possibility of changing rules somehow, is because this hit our target very quickly and then went way past our target a lot further. We would have made a lot more money on this trade had we stayed in for longer. So that's something to consider. But as of right now, we're just going to enter this in here. And this was March 20th, 24, second trade overall, second trade for the day. This is a higher bottom type setup. We're going long. The trade entry price would be the high of this candle, which is 52.3950. 52.3950. The target price is 52.45. So we're making, make sure that that's correct. Yep, 52.45, 39.50. So we're making 5.5 points if we win. Our stop loss will be entries right there. So our stop loss is right here at 52.3675. So entry is 52.3950 minus 52.3675 means we have a 2.75 point stop loss. minus 2.75. One contract traded worth $5. We'd make $27.50 or lose $13.75. Our entry, $52.39.50. The actual trade exit was the target of $52.45. So we made 5.5 points. So that means that we have, I am having trouble thinking today. I shouldn't have to do this, right? 5.5 minus 2.25 equals 3.25 point profit for the day. All right, so let's look at this, because this next setup that we have over here is our break and retest type setup. Let me actually do this. And it brings up an interesting point here. If you remember from the things I was looking at, the possibility of changing, the last one or the second one was close all trades by 1 p.m. Central Time. Now, for me personally, I'm out of trades by noon time for the most part. But if I'm in a trade and it has not hit profit target by 12, I'll stay in it till 1 or 2, something like that. But if it gets longer than that, it depends on what I have to do for the day. But typically, I'm going to be really busy after 12 noon. So I try to get out by 12 to 1 p.m. Central Time. And that's me personally. But there's going to be a change in required margin if we let it go to overnight margins. So I think we should probably look at, one of the first things to add is a time point to get out of the market before margins change. And this particular trade right here, we can see that it keeps moving up. The end of the day is right here at this point. That's the last bar of Wednesday. And then technically this is Wednesday right here, but the market opens. It closes at 4, it opens at 5 right there. So margin requirements are changing right around here. But anyway, let's look at this. So we have the market breaks far above major resistance right here, comes back down, touches it right here, and then moves back up, actually moves down a little bit further, and then eventually moves in the direction of the profit. So let's look at this. Our rules tell us once price breaks above resistance level and below support level, you wait for a pullback to the broken level. We got the pullback to the broken level right there. Just touched it. So the entry for this type of trade is close of the candle that moves away from the price breakout point in the direction of the breakout. So it touches it right here. It does close right here, but this candle didn't move away from it, closed in the direction of the retracement. So this is the candle that closes in the direction of the actual breakout. So this is our entry point right there. So we would measure from low here to our entry point right there, the close of this candle. Well, I'm doing this backwards here. So there we go. As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired today. My apologies. So our target is to double this distance. So that's our target up here. Our stop loss is to, look at this, we're stopped out again. So we just had a bad trade, a second bad trade. So we're hitting stop loss before we hit our target, but we would have hit our target. So that 50% stop loss, it's coming to bite us right here. So let's look at this trade. This is 3/20/24, trade number 3 of the day. It's a break and retest type. It's long. And our entry point is the close of this candle, which is 52.52. So 52.52. Our target price is way up here at, well, 52.71.25. So that would have been a pretty nice trade. It would have been 19.25 points. Our stop loss is 52.42.50. 52.42.50. And we would be losing. Our entry was 52.52 minus our stop loss 52.42.50. So 9.5 points. So minus 9.5. Number of contracts traded 1. I need to do this. There we go. So we traded 1 contract. If we had won, we would have won $96.25. But we're being stopped out at a loss of $47.50, so by far the biggest one of the day. So 52.52 was our entry. Our exit was 52.42.50. We lost 9.5 points. And again, let me move this over there. So we are down, what is that, 6 minus 6.25 points for the day. Now this trade would have taken us into the later portion of the day, so I wouldn't be doing any more trades after this, and we wouldn't want to get into anything this late in the day. And again, there's nothing specifically in our rules that tell us this, but that's something we're definitely going to want to consider adding to our rules. So the first trade experience that we have with our system, we're seeing things already that we should be thinking about adding to our rules. Close all trades by 1 p.m. Central Time or sometime around there. If we have too much noise in our pre-market data, to use more recent support and resistance. In other words, if we look at our pre-market data right here, there's actually a lot of levels of support and resistance. So we were looking at and just using the major levels of resistance and support, and then this level right here. And then, of course, once we got this far into the market, we had no support or resistance levels up here to even justify getting into a trade according to our rules. Next week for Wednesday's price action, on Thursday or Friday, I'll get the video out and we'll look to see what happens next week. And we'll pay attention to this for 3 or 4 weeks and see what is going on, how well the system does. Because so far, the system has had 2 losses and 1 win, where we're down 6.25 points for the day. So that's not particularly impressive, is it? No. So let's go ahead and end the video here, and I'll talk to you next week in the video where we're looking at Wednesday, March 27th's price data.